Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jade, and this is How to Up on iOS, and today we're going to be having a look at the updates for
4Pockets Euclidean. Oh, yeah.
And a lot of updates they are. But first, we're going to kick off with a kind of featured artist we've had all week because they're on the show this week. We're going to take a look at one of their songs in Behind the Song. This is Wolfstone Studio, Crazy for You. Cause I'm crazy for you. Wolfstone Studio, and it was Crazy for You from their new album, which is available on all of the streaming services. There is a pinned comment up the top of the chat where you can get to that. Just hit the song link, song whip link, and you can get to that and check out the album. I'll go and subscribe to them. There's a YouTube link as well, pinned to the top of the comments. Yeah, make it nice and easy for you. Hello and welcome to the show. It's another day. I'm Jade. This is How to Open iOS. Every day we take a look at apps, creativity, interviews, fun stuff, lots of stuff. Try and keep it interesting all the time. There may be a change to tomorrow's show. That will be decided in the next few hours. I'll explain a little bit later why that's happening. Welcome to our Ward Warriors. For $1 a month, you become a Ward Warrior and you get special custom emojis, which I need to change. I haven't changed in the last few days. And you get access to this weekend's quiz that is happening. It is a private event. You have to be a Wart Warrior, so you have to click the little members thing if you're on a desktop browser down below, or you can click the link that's in the description to become a member if you're on an iOS or Android device. And what is coming up on the weekend is Friday for those of you in the US and the UK, and Saturday here, Saturday morning this time, you can be a part of the 80s quiz. That is happening. It's going to be a good time. Brad is the current champion, Brad example. Thomas Christ won the first one. So this time it's 80s. I'm excited. I love a good quiz. I've all the questions. Well, most of the questions I have already. I'll be fixing the rest of them myself. All that jazz. And let's say hello to you all before we get into today's app and stuff. Hello, Thomas Christ. I had to change my tax appointment. You actually changed your tax appointment for the quiz. You are so cool, Thomas Christ. Robbie Stingle, Jim Shannon on sounds. Many vibes. You never know unless you're in it. Many vibes. Who else? Leela is here for the quiz. She's here for the quiz. Who else? Joe Glenn, hello to you. And, oh boy, it's been a day and a half yesterday. Tremor Bear, hello. Gregory O'Sullivan, hello to you. Make sure I get everybody. I think I missed a few people yesterday. FPC, what's going on? David Collette is here as well. David Collette is one of the developers of this app today. And you'll find out more about that soon. Darren Anderson, what's going on? Good to see you. Anyone else? So I shouldn't have any problems with my microphone anymore. Microphone has been replaced, not fully replaced. Mateus, hello. So there'll be no more popping and cracking. I can move around and all that jazz. I have the old microphone here, which is going back to Rode to get fixed because Rode have a 3-year warranty on this stuff. They're a pretty damn good company. And Rode just dropped a new microphone yesterday as well, the NT1 Series 5. It looks wicked. It's got a USB attached to it as well, 32-bit floating point. It's got its own audio interface built into it. Looks sick. Andrea, welcome aboard. Many vibes. I think I said many vibes, yeah. Brad example. I know Russ is probably listening in the background. Ed Zielinski, hello to you. What's up, gang? Thanks for joining me today. Thank you for being here and hanging out with me. I'm going to do my best to get through a recap of how to use Euclidean and all of the new features. Now, I went back, Sean Chandler, hello to you. I went back last night and watched my previous videos on this and was like, I don't need to really do a full remake of this because I did a pretty good job explaining it in the first 2 videos. So I will do an overview today and try and do a fairly deep overview, but at the same time, go back and watch the previous incarnations. They've had some updates, definitely. So the interface looks a little bit different, but I definitely want to give you the basics on how to kick this thing off and show you the new features. So that's what this will be about today. Let's give you some updates of things that's going on before we jump in. I ordered some new monitors. some replacement monitors, some KRKs, and they were supposed to be here on Monday, and it's now Wednesday. And TNT have no idea where they are. They're at the airport, they're on the truck, they're at the airport, they're on the truck. I don't even know if I'll get them. Whatever. So that'll be fun. So tomorrow's show may be changed. I need to let you know. Well, here's the thing, Thomas. FedEx just bought TNT couriers. TNT were like a really good courier here in Australia, and FedEx just bought them. Great stuff, FedEx. Keep up the good work. Hopefully they'll arrive today. So there's that. Now, tomorrow's show may be cancelled. I've got something even cooler to replace it with. The problem is that I haven't had time to do any work. I've been tied up with these deliveries and all this stuff. And today I have to go to the doctors. I have to do a blood test for a possible transfusion. Fingers crossed we get a transfusion soon. So, yeah, the sad news is, fingers crossed that my platelets are incredibly low and I'm sicker than what I was last time. And then I'll be able to get some platelets and then we can start some other therapy, which I need to start soon. But anyway, so yeah, I may have to cancel tomorrow's show, but we'll put it back to next week. I just haven't had any time to do vocals. It is what it is, man. These things happen, you know. And I'm sure what I have planned instead for tomorrow is something that may interest you. I may as well announce it now. We're going to be taking a deep dive into the differences between AUV3 and inter-app audio and exactly what they are and exactly what they do. And so you get a better understanding, because I know there are people who hear me say AUV3, inter-app audio, and have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. So let's have a look at what the standards are, how to use them on our iOS, how they can be used across on a Mac and that kind of stuff, how you can use them standalone, how you can use them with doors and all this kind of stuff. So, and their history and the understanding of where they come from and where they're going in the future, because we don't know where inter-app audio is going. It's supposed to be gone by now, but it's still around. So maybe we will do that tomorrow, and hopefully people will be a lot clearer, and we'll have some fun with it. All right. Is that all I have to announce? Oh, I did mention I got a new mic, so that's cool. Wiggle jiggle, everything's sweet. Let's jump over and do these things. There we go. Price drops. Sampletron. I covered this app a while ago by OK Multimedia. It's normally worth $79.99. It is really good. It's expensive, I know, but it's on sale for $39. And OK Multimedia liked my review so much, they actually put it on their front page of their website. So that was cool. K7D tape delays on sale for 99 cents. Bleach Slow Machine. Lawrence AUV3 plugin. See, there's that word. AUV3 plugin. What is it? We'll find out tomorrow. Tape, Cubasis. Nothing much has changed here from yesterday. But today we are looking at Euclidean. And if you've been following this show, you know I love this app. It is one of my favorite apps. It is a sequencer. It is a sequencer with a difference. It is a sequencer with so many possibilities, not only sequencing melodies, but rhythmic patterns, really outrageous stuff. You can go completely over the top and create stuff that's sheer chaos to the most beautiful and delicate stuff. And it is all done very mathematically thanks to David Collette, who is here in the audience with us right now. $8.99 is the price. It's continuously had updates since it came out. And from what I gather now, maybe David can clarify, I think this is it. This is where it's at. If there's any more updates for it, they'll probably be bug fixes. But I think this is the vision that they've been wanting to get to all this time. Everything's in there. And these last updates were the final vision that David Collette had to get this over the line. And this is done. You can nip this one in the bud. Yes, see, David's let me know. Yes, this is done, baby. And before we jump in, let's have a look over here, because inside the app, David Collette, I've covered this in both shows I've done already, has created this amazing PDF on Euclidean, polyrhythm, polymeter, polytempo, and hybrids. Basically the construction of this app, the whole concept behind this entire app, and it is a PDF that is just beautifully presented, written by David Collette, runs through the introduction of how this app came into existence. So we've got a table of contents, what polyrhythm and polymeters are. I'm not going to go into all this stuff. I'm absolutely Euclidean. Where's my comments? Nice one, Stephen. I went back and watched one of the original show I did on this yesterday. And the comments, I was laughing my ass off in the comments because there was a lot of jokes around the Euclidean. But yes. So look, this is just a beautiful piece of PDF artistry right here, which, I mean, man, I read this and my brain melts. You know what I'm saying? Look at all this. It is, but so you can see this is an incredibly mathematic app. Hello, Princess. Princess has got a Mac, everybody. If you didn't know, let me put some echo on it. Princess has a Mac. Well done, Princess. I know you're so excited. Good on you. You've got your Mac. You're all set to go. Now you just got to learn how to use it. All right. So, yeah, as you can see, this is some incredibly complex stuff here. I think you need a degree to read this, David. What's going on? Look at this. I feel like I'm back in school. But no, if you want to understand what Euclidean rhythms are, timings, all this kind of stuff, the history of it, it's all here for you, and it's inside the app. So that's wonderful. Let's open up a project that I made last night, and I hope everything goes right. Here is a project I made last night. Now, let's show you what's involved in it. There's a lot going on here. I spent a lot of time on this last night for not much. So we've got a bunch of instruments here. We've got 4 different drums set up, and we've got 4 instruments set up and 2 instances of Euclidean. The first instance is controlling the melody, and the second instance is controlling the drums and the rhythm. All right, so we're going to open both of these. Now, I'm also controlling all of this via my keyboard. So I can actually control what is happening with all of the moving parts of both of these at the same time with my keyboard. So this app is just wonderful. So we'll kick it off. I'll mute my mic and we'll make some sounds. And this has a whole mixture of different stuff that is in here, like the Euclidean mode, chase mode, polyrhythm, polymeter. Everything's kind of in this demo that I've put together today. And let's have a listen. There you go. So pretty much 4 patterns there running to make a whole bunch of really interesting sounds. 8 different instruments, 4 drums, 4 instruments. Really wonderful stuff. It is an incredible app. So we're going to jump out now of this project and have a look at the basics. Let's clear this out. And we'll create something. We'll create a couple of things today, yeah? So to kick off, this isn't an instrument, doesn't make any sound, yeah? This is a MIDI control. It creates MIDI notes to send to other instruments. It is a sequencer. So to open it up, we're going to need to open it as a MIDI in this MIDI track here, as usual. And we're going to need an instrument to send the MIDI to. So we're going to do a search for Euclidean in here. There it is. And we need an instrument to kick off with. I'm just going to go for let's do a search, actually. We'll do a search and see what takes my fancy. I don't have a plan. Having a plan is boring. Maybe we'll go with some bass. What was I using there? I was using Trooper. Let's use Trooper, and we'll start off with some bass for a change. Boom. Now, there are 2 ways you can send Euclidean to an instrument. Okay, 2 different ways. First, we're going to open up Euclidean by itself. I'm going to hit this host sync button. We'll make it full screen. So now that host sync has been selected, it is now aligned with the DAW. So whenever I hit play here, it starts playing here. So it's all sunk up and all together. So we don't have to hit play in here or anything. It's actually connected to. So if I change our BPM in here, the overall BPM will change of the project as well. So there are 2 ways you can connect an instrument. The first way, we're going to select the little hamburger here, and we've got 4 MIDI outs here. So I can do it this way with 4 instruments. Let's just add in another instrument for good measure. Let's just add in a piano. Nice and simple piano. Okay, so over here I want to attach 2 instruments. You can either attach 4 instruments or multiple instruments to the whole thing, so they all play together, or you can separate them into 4 individual tracks. We're going to do that first. So we've got this Euclidean out 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to send this number 1 to the Trooper, and we're going to send number 2 to the piano. So now there's a little light up here saying that there's a connection made. So that's cool. Now when I open up Euclidean, how we send these to separate ports is exactly that word. Over here down these knobs here, we have ports. And there are 4 ports you can choose. And as you guessed, port 1 is port 1, port 2 is port 2. So we're going to send the first line to the bass and the second one to the piano. So that's all you have to do. That's connected. And let's kick off by bringing in a first sequence. So the sequences come in these 4 tracks. So we've got A, B, C, and D. They run across the screen. Yeah. So if I hit A, this turns on the first sequence. And if I hit play now, so pretty self-explanatory what's going on. On every dot that is highlighted, we're hitting a note. Let's go along the line here of just this track. We have the ability to add steps. So with any sequencer, you can add steps to the sequencer. Currently, all these are set to 16 steps. And within these 16 steps, I can choose how many events become a note. So currently 4 are set, 4 set events. And if I turn this up, now we've got 16 notes across 16 steps. So every step is being hit. Now, what you'll see, what's really cool about this straight away is we can have these really odd numbers. So we've got 16 steps and 7 events. So you can start getting these really interesting patterns with the notes. Let's just set this back to 4. We can rotate these around on the next knob here. So you can see as I turn this, we're rotating these to different positions. So we can create off beats. Then we can change the note of, so this is just playing one note over and over and over again. We can go in here and we can change the note. Hi, Feisty Feather. So you can see as I turn this up, the notes are changing. Double click, goes back to C4. We can change the velocity. So the velocity is ultimately the volume. We can make it louder, softer, so we can change the velocity of these notes. We can change the channel, the MIDI channel, which goes up to 16, or the port, right? There's also a gate here. So if I turn up this gate, I can gate the sound as well. Let's just set that back to 25. I can also, over here to the side, we've got a reverse. If I hit reverse, watch what happens. Now we're going backwards. Now the meter is going backwards. We can do a ping pong, where once it gets to the start, it bounces and goes back the other way. So just start using your imagination there. When you've got multiple tracks happening, doing all these different things, it starts to get chaotic. Let's introduce another track, and we'll double the events. So it's pretty boring at the moment because it's 4 and 8. There's no real variation. You see, if we change this to a 7, now we're starting to get something interesting. We can change the note here. And again, we can hit reverse and have a ping pong. What we can also do is change the speed. So underneath each of these, we can set this second one to a different speed. We can go half the speed. And so forth. You can start creating things that are all different timings, running backwards. And we're starting to get some really unique sounds already. Hey, John Paul Music UK, what's going on? And Pete Johns. The Semtex Cow, hello to you. Alrighty, so there's a brief overview of beginning from scratch and just introducing the tracks one by one. Yeah, so you can see you can start creating some really interesting offbeats, sequencing going on. Let's just run across the top of the app so you can understand what some of these buttons are, and then we'll have a deeper dive into the randomize, which is where most people will start. Yeah. So across the top here, we have these P2s. These are programs, and you can save different setups across the top here. So we've got P1, 2, and as you see, when I move across these, I don't have any other programs set. And you can have up to 16 programs here. So when I press this button, it switches between 8 and 16, so you can get to your other tracks. If we go back to P1, there's our first one. And the beautiful thing about programs is I can go down here and hit copy, and I can go to a new program and paste this in, and then I can change the events up. So now if I hit play on program 1 and flick between program 2, Back to program 1. So you've got 16 little programs there you can add sequences into and just flick between them and create a song pretty much. And there's a song mode. There's so many modes in this app. It is utterly ridiculous. We've got a main menu here so we can start a new session at any time, clear a pattern, load a preset, save a preset. We've got some settings in here, which we won't go too much into today because I'm only giving you a refresher. I've done 2 videos on this. Go back and watch them. I did deep dives into all of this. We've got a MIDI panic button in case a note gets locked. You can fix that. Here's where you find the help menu. It's a beautiful menu. The help menu, it's really nice. All set out, big pictures, really easy to read. There's even links to all of the YouTube videos Paul has made from 4Pockets. So you can go watch all of the updates that have happened to this over the time. Plus, here is where you will find David Collette's theoretical paper. And you can download that paper from Dropbox. So, very nice help file in there as well. Alrighty, so let's talk about this section here. This is where we have our different types of Euclidean modes. So the first one is Euclidean. This is what it opens up with when you open the app. If you hold down on this, do you see what happened then? The shape changed from the circle to these other shapes. This is a new mode. This is one of the updates that has just dropped. This is called chase mode. If we go back here and hit play, where we've got these lines going around, I understand why this has been added, this chase mode, because if I click on chase mode now by holding down, it gives us, I think, a nicer representation of actually what's happening without the lines going around like clocks. It just looks neater in my opinion. And when we change our events, the shapes change as well. So yeah, I much prefer it. I think it's much easier to look at. And again, to get rid of this and go back to the old way, you just hold down. Anywhere on 4Pockets apps that has a little chevron, see this little triangle here in the corner? That is letting you know if you hold down on that particular button, you will be given more options, right? It's a feature on all 4Pockets apps. Let's stop this. So, if I just click this, now I'm given another menu here. So we've got Euclidean, polyrhythm, polymeter, and polytempo. Polytempo is the latest addition and the last addition to the mix of things. You can probably see here polyrhythm. Let's click on it and see what happens to our project. Now we'll go back. So when we go between these, some of these options disappear from over here. So we've got our steps here. So with this, we can change up the steps and alternate steps and create utter chaos, right? So now if we hit play. But now if we go between to polyrhythm, you'll notice the steps have been completely blocked out and our rotation has been blocked out, and now we only have events in here. And we have our band speed as well. So we're basically really good for rhythmic stuff. Let's jump over to polymeter. And you'll see the difference here with polymeter is instead of having a sequencer, the amount of numbers in a sequence, we're now given time signatures. So we could make this one 8/4 and this one 3/4, and then change our note types to dotted eighths. So shit can get this all back down to 1 speed. So you can start to see there is a lot of variation between these settings. I will go down and cover polytempo at the end of the show. That's because that's the new one. We'll cover that. Let's go back to Euclidean. And okay, so we've got our beats per minute, pretty standard stuff there. We've got a song mode here that we can open up, turn on and open up. I'm not really going to cover song mode. I've covered it before. You can create an entire set of rhythms in here and create a whole song in here. So you're just flicking between the verse, chorus. You can do all of that stuff. It's so deep, this app. It is just incredible. We've got an overall speed. So you can change the overall speed of the song. And this will affect all of your programs. Every program that you've got in here. Okay, so it's a little bit boring at the moment because it's just playing the same note over and over again. It's just doing the same note over and over and over again on each of these tracks. Well, you can clearly see down here we have a lovely little selection here to add notes to this. All right, so let's just jump down here. We'll start just with this key. So you can choose the key that you want this song to be in. Let's just go with C because it's simple. We can choose a scale. Now, if you choose chromatic, it means every key here on your keyboard is available, even the wrong notes, which are okay because wrong notes sometimes make right notes. So you've got a full chromatic scale. Whenever you choose one of the other scales that are on offer here, like a major, let's just go to a major, you'll notice here down the keyboard, it gives us the keys that are available for you to use in the scale. So anything that's highlighted, you can see. If we go to minor now, you'll see there are some keys that I can't. See that when I tried to put a note there? It said this note is not in the scale. It won't let you fuck up. So you don't need to be smart. Which is perfect for me. Right, so now I can look at this scale. I don't even need to know a scale, and I can see where I can put notes that fit within this scale. And if I keep doing this and just dropping notes in here, I can drop one way down here. I know it's in the scale, so it's not going to be terrible. I can put another one in here. Then we can put one there. So now, when I play this A, see down here, we're on A. And this is where you flick between the 4 channels. So now let's just play the A by itself, and we should have. We've got notes. So another thing that's been added in here is really wonderful. This didn't used to be. If you go back and watch my old show on this, you can see these ghost notes. See how there's notes here that are not showing. They're there, but they're ghost notes. Now, you don't have to go in and turn these events on. You can just go in. I'm pretty sure. Can you do it? Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's in one of the other modes. I think it's in one of the other modes. See, I'm not perfect. I don't know all this. But we can add notes here. So now we've got a melody. So now when we bring in B, and of course we can do the same thing with the next track. So the B, which is the piano, and to do that, we jump over to our B track, and you can see all our notes are here. We can spread these out maybe and do some notes like just a bit more spread out down here. So now let's have a play. I absolutely agree with that statement, FPC. I'm always loading this up and creating stuff and going, wow, I never thought that would happen from me dicking around. That's beautiful. It's just beautiful. It's mathematically correct. And it doesn't sound like just bleeps and bloops, you know, like a lot of these randomization things that are around now can get a bit bleepy and bloopy and all that kind of stuff. Oh yes, I know. I'm getting it, David. There's so much, man. Look what you do to me. So yeah, let's show you that now that David's brought up. You'll notice here we've got these invert buttons here. If I long press, did you see what happened then? It's inverting between the it's swapping out those notes. Now this is new also. Let me take out that piano. We've got this invert melody button here. Let's see what happens when I click this. So we're getting a higher melody in there. We're getting an inverted melody. We'll bring in the piano and we'll invert that. So to activate the invert here, you actually have to hold down on it and then you're able to turn it on and off. Yeah. Let me just hold down on it. There we go. And it should invert from there. So you have to activate it by holding down to get that to happen. So just very simple stuff there to create really unique melodies. All right. Now we can change the scale at any time. This is cool. If we just hit play, I can go in here and change the scale and it will adjust to the scale. You can see the notes changing. So you've got total control. Let's just go back to a major. We can select a chord. Let's do that. And it'll apply a chord to this particular channel. Remember, we're on channel A at the moment. Now, if I hold down on, again, there's a little chevron here. If I hold down on here, I can copy this exact rhythm and these settings over to B if I want, or to C. So now if I go to C, oh no, I copied C to A. Oh, damn. You know how we fix that? Let's go in here and let's talk about randomization. See, I fucked up again. this here. I'm going to hit randomize. Now we're off. Okay, let's talk about the randomization because this is what most of you will use. Yeah, randomization is the center of this whole thing. So you can find the randomize here. If you hold down on it, it will just randomize everything. It'll just randomize. If you click on it, you are given the option here. Let's just go back. You're given this whole outlay of things to randomize. I can move this around wherever I want as well. You can randomize the notes. You can randomize the velocity, the probability of when these notes will be done. You can randomize the controllers, things like, we'll go into it. You can even randomize with this program here. You can randomize a preset in one of the instruments that you're running. So we've got what are we running? Trooper. I could set 5 different presets here, and I could hit this program and randomize, and it'll pick a different preset from another app. It's incredible. We can randomize the speed. We can randomize repeats and glitches. We can randomize the scale, the chord. We can randomize virtually everything. And we can choose to randomize all the tracks at once or just an individual track. And in here, this is our mode. So in here we have steps and walk. That's a new feature. Steps and ARP, steps and sequence, steps. So you can randomize the way the notes are put in here. I like this new version. This is walk. It's just really cool. We can randomize the complexity from low to medium to high. We can decide the octave, so between a lower third to a fifth. Let's just hit randomize now, and we'll choose the scale, chord. We'll add some repeats in there and hit randomize for both of these tracks, A and B, and see what it gives us. And you can see this has changed the key. It has given us a different scale, a different chord, because we had scale and chord selected. Let's randomize it again. Let's add some probability into the mix. Now you'll hear those little doodlets. These are repeats. These are a new thing that have been added, repeats and glitches. Let's go again. Shall we add some speed in here as well? Now we're running really slow. So you can see it's creating so many variables, it's ridiculous. I'm going to go into chase mode. You can see it's randomizing each individual track to be a different speed. Let's speed these up. So we're still adjusting Euclidean mode. Shall we jump over to a different mode? Now we're in polyrhythm. could turn off these inverts. That would help. Now I've lost all sound. We can add events to this. All right, I'm going to clear this out. And I want to cover some new things in here. So let's start a new session. Okay, we'll start off with our base here that's connected. And I want to show you some notes. Let's draw in some notes. So we're in A, and we'll choose a major scale. And let's just draw in some notes here. So one of the new features of this is found here in probability. I can turn on probability, or if I hold down on this, we're given repeat and glitch. And now if I click this on, repeat and glitch is on, and you'll notice these notes have changed. Color, if I turn them off. What I can do with these notes, if I grab my finger and drag up, can you see that? It's adding extra notes. So we've got a repeat. Let's add 2 to this one. And if I keep dragging up, once I get past 4, it'll choose random. So you never know what you're going to get now. And if I keep dragging up past random, we get glitch. So we can create these glitches now. If I keep dragging up, we can get random glitching. Let's add. We'll draw some more notes in here. So we're going from just simple notes to now glitching on there as well, but it gets even better. If you double click on any of these notes, you get a full note repeat little screen here, and you can decide what type. So you can have repeats, you can have a glitch, you can have random, you can decide the number of repeats or random, and you can choose probability. So it could be only 50% that these run off. So that's another new feature in here. Plus down here we've got these 2 new buttons. These are cool. If we click on this, you can accent random notes. So we can change the velocities of these to start creating rhythms that are accented. Let's hit play. Oops, I'm on the right one. So you can accent, plus down here we have random gating as well. So we can add random gating to this. So these are 2 new features you can add that have been added to this. What else do I need to tell you? So let's just have a look at these buttons here. So if I select an individual note as well, I can actually move, with these buttons, I can move up an entire octave. So you can see these are going down an entire octave. So this whole scale. So you can go up and down. We can move them left and right. Okie doke. Everyone following along okay? I'm going to open up a project now. In fact, let's just build something from scratch. Let's build some music, and let's build a rhythm to go with it. And as I said, last off, we're going to cover the final polytempo thing in here, this new polytempo, which is very interesting. Very, very interesting. It kind of sends everything out of tempo and then everything comes back into tempo. So really cool for unique rhythms. Hey, if you're enjoying the show, hit the like. It does help. Let's do that halfway through. I've missed a few other buttons along here as well. This one here, you can actually change chords while this is connected. So I'll give you a quick look at that. If I connect my MIDI keyboard to here, to Euclidean. Have I done that right? MIDI input. What am I doing? What am I doing? If I connect my keyboard down here and hit play, I can actually now play a chord on my keyboard. Why is it not working? Why is it not happening? Oh, I didn't turn it on. There we go. And, oops, I know what I'm doing wrong. Get that off. I'm in the wrong place. So see that? I played an F chord and it changed to an F. So from my keyboard, now it's a G, D minor, C, so you can control your song with your keyboard as well. There's so many cool keyboard things you can do. You can change programs, you can change chords, you can remove sections of this, like so. I think it's here. See how I've removed all the notes and then added them back? I can change between patterns. Well, I thought I could. I've deleted the pattern. Oh no, I've got to bring them back. There it is. There. So the keyboard has a lot of interesting things you can do as well. And you can see once I start changing chords, this changes to user input. So it knows that I'm actually playing chords in here as well. Anyway, let's clear this out. Let's just start something new. And watch the process, I guess. So we need a MIDI channel. We'll start off with Trooper again, just for a bass line, because it's really cool. We'll set up Euclidean. Let's make 4 instruments here. So these are all going to be our melodies. We're going to send this first one to Trooper. We'll go in here and choose VHS synth. What else can we choose? Let's choose, we'll choose a guitar maybe. We'll choose Strummer by 4Pockets. And let's choose something weird. Let's choose something noisy, maybe like Factory. There we go. So there's our 4 instruments. Now, we've got Trooper going to this one here. Yeah. We're going to send VHS synth there. We'll send this one to Strummer. And we'll send this one to Factory. Now I'm going to jump into Euclidean, turn on our host sync so it's when I hit play, it starts playing. Now we need to change these ports. Port 2, port 3, port 4. Now they're all connected to all 4 instruments. So if I click on A and hit play, if I hold down B, we've got sound. Let's find some sounds. And now we have a complete palette here ready to go. I'm going to turn it to chase mode because I like chase mode. It looks nicer. And I'm just going to start changing the events simply. We're going to turn up the gate on this guitar so it rings out more. Already, without much work, we'll leave this in the key of A. We'll change this to a minor scale. Let's head into our randomize. We'll remove the scale and chord because we want to keep that the same. I'm going to change this to walking, the new feature. And what walking does is when you randomize, it creates a walking scale, much like a human would play. Let me show you that. See that? How it's walking along the scale? Let's show you with this one, with B. So we've got a walking scale here. Now I'll show you something else. If I hold down on notes here, we've got some parameters set for this walking scale. And this decides the jumps. So you can see within this scale, it's not just a walking scale here. Let's just show you. You can see here there's these big jumps from here to up here to up here. You can control those jumps. We can go in here and click on these and turn these all to 0. So we've got walking steps 2. Let's change this to 0. Change this one to 0. You can decide a percentage of how far they jump. And now if I hit randomize, we've got more of a natural scale. I don't like this sound. We'll change this. So how easy was that? It's just insane. It's so good. So good. So what we'll do now is we'll keep that. That's fine. Let's copy this. So I've copied this this whole setup. We'll go to number 2 and I can just hit paste. And now from here we can change this up and try something different. So I could go in here and change this whole thing to a C. So now when we hit play, and I jump between these, hey Ron, what's going on? Let's change the pattern up a little bit. We'll slow this down. And if I want to get this to remember, I can just now hold down and it'll flash, and that's saved. So we've just covered melodies with this so far. Let's open another instance of Euclidean. And let's make some drums, shall we? Let's do Euclidean. And we'll try and create some drums. So we're going to add another 4 tracks here. 1. And you can have different drum apps running. So let's host sync this. I'm going to choose a polyrhythm for this one. Yeah. And we'll go in here and let's just add some random, let's add 4Pockets Digisticks. Let's add a hammerhead in here. So these are all drum apps. What else can we add? Let's just type drums in here. We've got a drum computer. And we can do a drum 80. So we've got 4 different drum apps. Welcome back, Vibes. And now we need to connect this to each of these apps. So Digisticks on track 1. Hammerhead track 2. Drum computer track 3. And track 4. Is drum 80. Now with drums, they're not always the same MIDI notes for each part of the kit. So if I just go in here now and hit A, we're getting a crash. How do we change this crash? How do we change it up? Here's where our MIDI notes are. So if I start changing these MIDI notes, it's going to go through each part of the kit. We've got some toms here. There was a kick. C3's a kick. So let's go into this drum now and choose a different drum. Let's choose like a EDM kit. There we go. So now we've set our kick for the first track. Let's turn on B. Now, as I said, we're getting a reverse cymbal here. Why is that? Can anybody guess why that is happening? Oh man, do I have to kill the panic? There we go, that's panicked. Well, I'll tell you what I didn't do. I didn't change the ports over here, yeah? So we need to change our ports. So they're all going to different ports. So now when I hit play, there's no sound coming through this because I haven't chosen a kit. I'm going to go in here and choose a kit here. Let's load a preset. My metal drums. No. So now I've chosen my metal drums. There we go. So now if I go back to Euclidean, if I can swipe, we can change this note and find, hopefully, maybe, there we go. We found a note. We've got a snare. We had a snare. So now if I bring in this kick, and now I can change the events here. And we're starting to get a kit. Let's bring in C. Let's bring in D. And again, I'm just going to move. Was that cowbell? And now we've got a cowbell. And now we have rhythm. And if we bring back in this, and it's all over the place. What's happening? Because we're running two different things, we have a polyrhythm running here. I'm going to change this out. Oops, what happened there? Let's bring this back here. I'm going to change this out to a polymeter and get some different time signatures. And look at that. I just randomly turned a bunch of knobs. It's one of the best things about this. Now, I know it's not scientific, and I know Dave's probably tearing his hair out right now saying that's not very scientific. This is very mathematically engineered, and you're just turning random buttons and getting cool sounds. But that's the beauty of this app. Now, because all of these, I can control all the volumes of all of these individually too. And I can add effects to them. So I can go in here and add something like AB Vortex. We can go into this guitar here. And what can we add? We can add like magma. David says, Paul and I wanted everyone just to flip knobs and let it do its magic. Keep punching randomly. It's a story of my life. But listen to that. It's fucking awesome. So now we can go into this drum here, which is set to polymeter. I can copy this, go to number 2 and paste this in. We can randomize this beat and see if we can come up with something else. So I don't want the notes on. scale, chord doesn't really matter. So now I've got two different patterns in here, pattern 1 and 2. And now I can copy pattern 2. Hi, Jenny. Copy, go to number 3, hit paste, and then let's change this up to a Euclidean and really mess things up. So now we've got 3 beats happening. Let's go in and create some more patterns in here. So we've already got a key change. Let's copy this first one. Go to number 3, paste this in. And let's just randomize the fuck out of this. Add some repeats. So now we've got 3 very different, so 3 drum beats, 3 patterns. And let me show you something really ace here. If we open both of these Euclideans, that sounds filthy. Shrink these down so I can have both of them open. Actually, let's go here. Let's open. So the top one is the melody. The bottom one is the drums. We're just going to shrink, maybe, if it lets me shrink it. So we can see both of them. And what I'm going to do is attach, make sure my keyboard is attached. Yeah. So there's my key step. My Arturia key step is attached to the top one. And we'll go to the second one here and make sure my keyboard's attached. And I hope I'm right. Yes. Okay. So now what I can do, I've attached my keyboard to both of these. And what I want to do to make life easy, I want to change these patterns here, pattern 1 on both of these at the same time. How do I do that? I've got my keyboard attached. And you'll notice when I press a key, the patterns change. So now when we hit play, all from my keyboard. It's pretty wicked, yeah? And I haven't covered the half of it. I absolutely have not covered the half of this app. There's so much more. As I said, go back and watch the other shows I've done on it. There's also a we have the pattern chord detection. We've got plays notes when MIDI input. We've got a song mode. I mean, it's just ridiculous. We've got a velocity mixer here. Let's turn all these off. It is just utterly fun. Yeah, so much you can do with it. The last thing I want to cover is this this new feature that is on here. Now, I'm pretty sure, just to answer your question, I think Dave already has. I'm pretty sure if you buy this on iOS, it runs on Mac as well. I'm pretty sure I've tested it on Mac for Paul when I was doing beta on it. I'm pretty sure, if memory serves me correct. Yes. So if you own it on iOS, it runs on Mac beautifully. No extra money. Sweet. All right, let's go into this last mode because this mode is weird, fun, crazy, and let's do it. So I'm going to clear this whole project out. I'm in the right one. Yeah, I was in the right one. Cool. We'll turn off these drums so they're not bothering us. And this last thing here is called poly tempo. And let's bring in a track and hit play. Let's bring in all of them. Make sure the ports are set to each different instrument. So we've got this set here, just very basic. They're all set to the same time signature. They're all 4/4. Their note type is all a quarter. Yeah. And what I can do with this is we can go in here and underneath each of the tracks, we can go in and we can change the relative band speed. So I'm going to bring this up to about 121, whatever it is. It'll show me once I do that. So to 1 to 107. For this one, I'm going to bring this to about 84. For this one, we'll change this to, I don't know, about 91. So we're going to make all these different. And we'll make this one, I don't know, 130. So now when I hit play, I will go back to actually the line so you can see what's going on here. These will all start the same, but over time, their tempos will change. And you'll see a representation of that with these lines going around. So you can already see they're starting to go out of time with each other. If I speed this up, you'll see this happen a lot faster. So now we're getting some really interesting tempos happening here, all going out of time, and then eventually they'll all come back into time with each other. Now you imagine, you won't have to in a second, let's go back to the start here. I actually didn't want to do that. Let's go back here, undo that. Absolutely the order of chaos, everything falling out of time and then coming back together. So with drums, this could be very interesting. Really cool. And you add into that like a melody down here as well. So if we went in here and added we've got minor selected. Let's do that. Let's add a major in here. So if we add in like some notes in here as well, and we copy these, so we put band A in here, we put band A in here as well, then we put band A in there. Let's go back to the start. And let's change these melodies out a bit, because you can drag these notes. And now we're all starting to fall out of time here. And eventually these will all come back around. I just love this. Beautiful stuff. We can hit reverses, ping pongs. Absolutely great for ambient stuff as well. If we slow this down too, if we added some drones in here, yeah, we've got slow droning things that are falling out of time with each other and slowly coming back into time, yeah. So this has been a kind of breakdown, a refresher. Some of the new features that are in here, which are wicked. I really love the new repeat glitch stuff. So now we've got these little repeats going on. We can change the accents and some gating. So you can hear I just changed the accents and things are getting a little bit louder. Let's change the time signature quickly of a couple of these. Hey Paul, what I'm saying. Hey, iOS Music Man. Sorry, I'm getting lost. So there you go. There is Euclidean. If you're not in love with this app, I don't know what's wrong with you. Maybe you need your head read. It's totally worth $9. It's $9 US, and it's so much more, as you've probably worked out, than just randomization. It's very in-depth, very mathematical, very calculated, but at the same time really easy to make things by accident, you know, for something so mathematical. And that's the genius of it, really, because mathematics is the key to everything. It's the universe. So many things come together with mathematics, and everything is so mathematically perfect and precise that you don't need to think about it. From being able to choose a scale and not fall out of the scale, it helps you with the notes to create multi-rhythms, multi-melodies, and just reversing and different timing for each instrument. And it's just a beautiful thing. I really love this app. It is one of my favorites of all time, and the amount of love and care that Paul and David have put into this is absolutely astonishing. Yeah. Same here, Jim. This app makes me look semi-smart. But yeah, beautiful, 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 beautiful stuff. What I'm going to do to close out today's show is I'm going to show you, let's close out with some music, the first thing that I made with this. Euclidean, where is it? I think it's Euclidean demo. Maybe it's this one. I'm pretty sure this is it. I'll make sure. This was the very first thing I made with this. Opened it up. Had no idea what I was doing. Have I programmed anything in here? I've got 2 programs. It's actually not what I wanted to show you, but I was going to show you the project I made for the first show I did. And I think Euclidean show. Let's see. I think it's either Euclidean demo, Euclidean dance. I think it is. This is it. So this was the first thing I made when I opened the first show. So I've done 2 shows on this already. Go back and watch them. You'll get a much better understanding of things I've left out here today. I ran through things a lot slower. So this just has a 909 running, 4 instruments. And man, I love this little thing that we've made here. Let's play it, and I'll go out with this. Remember, guys, do the things that make you happy. Mistakes make you better, and we'll all rise together. And yeah. Let's go out with this tomorrow, AUV3, inter-app audio. So come and join me for that if you want to get an understanding of what that's all about. Let's play this and we'll get the hell out of here. Boom.